Furniture for the Good Things Utah set, furnished by Timber Lodge Furniture and Design.
Welcome back to Good Things Utah. We have Tom Woodbury here. He has a show called Cook with Tom, and Tom knows kitchens like on a molecular level. He knows science, food, and how to make it interesting for your kids too. I feel like I'm learning something today, Tom.
I hope so, particularly with all the kids at home for Martin Luther King Day.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
My husband is home with my kids. They're going to learn how to do things in the kitchen
So
today.
are we experimenting? Are we blowing things up or learning how to do things better in the kitchen?
Well, you know, next time I'll be happy to blow things up, but today I thought it would be fun just to talk about ways we can improve the cooking that goes on in our kitchen already. In fact, over here on this side, you'll see I've got 2 loaves of bread. These breads were made using identical cooking methods, identical ingredients. The only difference is in this bread, I did it straight as the recipe said, and in this bread, I reduced the water by 1 tablespoon.
One tablespoon and made it rise this much more?
And then added 1 tablespoon of white vinegar.
Oh.
See, the reason that works...
Are we talking acid and pH? And what's...
The water in Utah has got a lot of minerals in it. And also when you add the salt to the bread, that further increases the mineral content. But by adding just a little vinegar, it completely counteracts the issues we have with Utah water so that you get a fantastic piece of bread. In fact,
now this looks better.
It looks better. In fact, you'll find that you get a better rise. The vinegar doesn't inhibit the yeast, or it allows the yeast to have a much better growing environment. Where here, what you
here, go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
What you find out. Let me make sure I cut you off a fresh piece too.
There you go. So that one got to be bigger just because of the vinegar.
Just because of the vinegar. Again, it creates a better home for the bread. It also tastes better because in the standard home cooking method used when you're making bread, it creates about half of the acetic acid that you'll make when you're using it
so Tom, if you have a bread maker, that's what you should do. You should just do the little 1 less tablespoon of water, add the vinegar, and you're going to get better bread.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay, what about the pasta here?
This is awesome. I figured we would stick with vinegar today. In fact, see how sticky this pasta is?
Yeah, and sometimes it comes
out
like
that. And how nice and loose that pasta, it just falls off.
Right.
Vinegar again, up to...
No. I've heard olive oil. Vinegar?
Olive oil is great, but my take on it is if you're going to put extra calories in your food, make them count.
Okay.
And so by cooking it in vinegar, the way it works is there's these little protein nets that are formed around your pasta as you're cooking it. And the goal is to get the protein net to form as soon as possible.
This is the science part.
So what that does is that prevents the starch in the pasta from making its way into your pasta water, so that that makes your noodles sticky.
So how much water and vinegar do you put in?
Up to a ½ cup of white vinegar for every gallon of pasta water.
Okay. So you're using white vinegar, not the apple cider vinegar?
Correct.
Okay.
You could, in fact, use apple cider vinegar, but it does tend to, it adds a little flavor.
Taste a little different.
And the goal is to not taste your pasta, not taste the vinegar in the vinegar in the pasta.
Just make it not sticky.
But make it not sticky.
So okay, what about the balsamic vinegar over there?
This is
awesome.
This is one of my favorite things.
Okay.
This is actually the same vinegar, 3 different preparations. This is just straight vinegar right out of the bottle. This is vinegar that's been reduced by half, and this is vinegar that's been reduced by 3/4.
Okay, so how did you reduce it?
You put it in a pan, and you put it on the lowest possible heat so it just steams, but not so that it bubbles. The bubbling actually causes all the what they call odorant molecules to make their way out of your vinegar into the atmosphere, so you don't taste those when you put it in your mouth. But try any of these things. You could try some bread in the vinegar, try some walnuts in the vinegar. You got to try you're going straight for the king.
I was going straight for the king.
The king of vinegar right there.
Yum.
You're going to love this. It's got this nice sweet caramel, and then it goes to a little bit of soy sauce, and then plum, and then bam, it hits you with this really sharp sour flavor.
Oh my gosh, I love how you just called it.
Okay, what's the difference between the cheese and the nuts?
Both things you can dip in the vinegar. Something that's interesting about nuts and cheese has got all these little proteins that when you eat them, they bond to your tongue, and so it makes it when anything you eat after that is not going to taste bitter.
Really?
So this walnut won't taste bitter after I just had a
Have a piece of cheese and then have a walnut.
Okay. I just had a piece of cheese.
This is very interesting.
Okay.
So you reduced it all the way.
You're smart with your science.
I know, it's what do you do?
That is amazing because usually if I just bite a walnut, it does have that bite to it, you know, that kind of tang.
Right.
And if you don't like that, eat a piece of cheese
Now,
first.
can you use very cheap vinegar, or do you have to go with the really expensive vinegar?
You know, it's funny. I went to the store and found the most inexpensive vinegar I could find on the shelf. It
Of
was
balsamic
tastes that
vinegar.
of balsamic vinegar, and it tastes that delicious
By just reducing it.
by just reducing it.
Tom, I love these examples. I want to see your show.
Well, great.
How do we see your show?
It's available online at cookwithtom.com, or if you're a Comcast subscriber, you can go to Utah On Demand, Life and Home Utah, and then Cook with Tom.
Okay, we're going to link you through our website too, because I want to cook with Tom. I want to watch your show, and
I
I
think
want
it
to learn
looks
things.
fun.
I know, and get your kids involved in the kitchen and know what you're doing with science in the kitchen. Tom, thank you.
Thank you.
Very
When
exciting.
you come back next time, blow something up for me.
I will.
I would love
Just
that.
for you.
Thank you. Okay, coming up next, we're heading to the dance floor with Vibes. Stay with us. That was fun.
A delicious dish in the kitchen that anyone can do from Simplify Supper.